hope she enjoyed it, because it really should be her last. What a total humiliation. A total humiliation.
Can colleagues who are exiting the chamber do so swiftly, so we can focus on the leader of the opposition? Swiftly exit, quietly. Right. Leader of the opposition.
It's a total humiliation, Madam Deputy Speaker. Last year, she put up taxes by £40 billion, the biggest tax raid in British history. She promised that she wouldn't be back for more. She swore it was a one-off. She told everyone that from now on, it would be stability and she would pay for everything with growth. Today, she has broken every single one of those promises. If she had any decency, she would resign. At the last budget, she said she was proud to be the country's first ever female chancellor. After this budget, she will go down as the country's worst ever chancellor.
Kemi Badenoch's reaction cuts through the political noise because it captures what so many people have started to feel about Rachel Reeves. The gap between her branding and her performance is becoming impossible to ignore. Reeves entered this budget riding on the historic symbolism of being Britain's first female chancellor, proudly repeating the milestone as if the title alone guaranteed competence. But politics is not interested in symbolism when the public is struggling. And this budget exposed just how underwhelming her economic vision truly is. Instead of delivering a bold course correction, Reeves served up a muddled package of half-steps, vague promises, and policies that feel like they were designed more to survive a news cycle than steer a nation. Badenoch's attack lands because Reeves seems increasingly defined by the weight of expectations she cannot meet. She talks about change but governs like someone terrified of it. She warns of inherited damage, yet offers little that resembles a path forward. And as living costs bite, public services strain, and confidence erodes, Reeves' insistence that Britain is on the right track starts sounding more like political fantasy than economic leadership. So yes, she may have made history last time by becoming the first female chancellor. But after this budget, she risks making history for a very different reason, being remembered not for breaking a glass ceiling, but for shattering public patience. Reeves wanted to embody hope. Instead, her budget has become a case study in how fast credibility can crumble when ambition doesn't match delivery.
Let's get into the revelations in the book, because, for instance, you talk about the Queen's relationship with Meghan and Harry, and it's just interesting intel, as ever, that you've managed to pick up. For instance, the late Queen objected to Prince Harry ringing her at a certain time. Why?
Because she was having tea. She always had tea at a certain time of the day, and everyone knows that you don't disturb the Queen when she was having her afternoon tea.
Harry must have known that.
Yeah, but I suppose he got confused with the time differences when he was ringing up.
Yes, good point. Yeah, all right. So he was disturbing her as she was having a cup of Earl Grey, and then she was also concerned about how much Meghan was spending on clothes.
Yeah, and I think she was probably right on that as well. I mean, she had a good barometer when it came to, I think one dress on one tour was £60,000.
Oh yeah, the Dior dress that she wore.
And that really wouldn't have, even though, to be fair, in the early days when the Queen was travelling and she had all those different dresses created for different tours, you could argue, but again, that she was doing it herself. But I think that it just, at this time, she thought that's not the right message, and she was usually right on this thing.
Like Princess Anne, the Queen was a great recycler of clothes as well, whereas I'm not sure Meghan wore the same thing.
The more I think about what happened with Meghan and Harry at the beginning, I think I blame more Harry, because I think that she probably, maybe she didn't listen, but I do think that she should have been better advised, better handled, better dealt with. Really.
But the feeling that you give in the book is that the Queen was well aware that when they were phoning, what they were really asking for was one thing: dosh.
Money, yeah.
Is that
and
true?
That's true. And I think also the king got fed up, or Charles, when he was the Prince of Wales, got fed up too, when he remarked, I'm not a bank. I mean, so, I think
Mum and Dad.
I think that's something we're all familiar with.
I think any parents.
I think it's the amount of zeros involved that was
That's
the worry.
right, yeah. It's one thing asking for a tenner for a Nando's. It's quite another asking for hundreds of thousands of pounds. What's the truth about them calling their daughter Lilibet? Did the Queen know or not?
I think, to be fair to Meghan and Harry, they did speak to her about it. I think they said, we want to name our daughter after you, but she assumed that meant their daughter would be called Elizabeth. The actual and then left it, and then it was not discussed. And so when she read about it being Lilibet, I think she was not only surprised but slightly annoyed, because
So you think she only first found out that it was Lilibet?
by the media, yeah, by it coming out in the papers. Yeah.
So she wasn't annoyed, but she was upset, or she was affronted? What do you think?
Well, it's a personal nickname that her mum and dad and her granddad and her sister would use for her. It was a name that's personal to her. So I think it was quite different being called Lilibet to being called Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Lilibet was really it's her legacy, really. It's one of the things that she was called. And I think she was probably a little irritated that she didn't know. The one thing that the Queen always wanted was to know what was happening.
Yeah, of course.
And to be fair, though, I think there may have just been a bit of a misunderstanding.
A bit of a communication breakdown.
Hence why both said that one side said, oh, no, we did tell her. And the other
I know.
said,
There was an interesting briefing all at the time about that particular story. Tell me about the relationship between Charles and William, because you raise a few concerns that it's been a bit testy in the past. I think you're basically suggesting that, funny enough, Charles got on better with Harry than William, but...
No, I think he did. No, my understanding from people I spoke to is the King and Harry had a pretty good relationship. They were fairly got on very many issues. They were, perhaps Harry's a little bit more, I know it seems hard to think now, but a bit more laid back.
Yeah.
I think with William, there was always issues, bigger issues, which always seems to be a clash between a monarch and an heir. Things like, what are they going to do in the future? Even now, I think there's that clash, even though they have certainly, there's a king, understanding with the king knows that going forward, William will be the lead. He will take the lead when it comes to the direction of the monarchy. But he doesn't necessarily agree with that royalty with a small r. I think that from what I understand, his feeling would be that you mustn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You mustn't change too much for the pomp, the pageantry, the tradition. We just saw it at work, didn't we, with Trump at the Great Hall in Windsor, where the soft power diplomacy was very in evidence and worked very well. Yeah. In a way, if you limit too much, then you start to be rejected by the people that are your supporters, and you're not really appealing to these people that actually don't want you anyway. You're well, you're losing some of the magic, and then people are going to ask themselves, what's the point? What's the deal with William not wanting to wear a kilt, which I would imagine is a central part of his future life as king? Well, it's only there, I think the falling out is that, of course, the king has always been aware, as when he was the Prince of Wales, he was Lord of the Isles as well, that there's a whole industry in the making the kilts, making the tarts, making everything that's important.
Yes.
And it keeps a lot of people in work in Scotland and in the Isles in particular. And if you're not wearing that as the Lord of the Isles, he thinks that's you're turning your back.
What's William's objection? Is it wearing the skirt?
It itches, I don't know.
Not wearing underwear? I don't know.
I don't know, but he doesn't like it.
He thinks it's a gimmick or something?
I don't understand why he doesn't wear it. But
he went to university in St Andrews.
But I don't think we've really seen him in a kilt very much, have we?
No, we haven't.
No.
That's a very good observation. And also, Queen Camilla. Now, you said that when she saw the video that William and Kate made after they had cancer, she called it a shampoo commercial.
She would like a shampoo commercial. I think that it was very much a joke. It was very much,
she likes a joke,
Camilla and Queen Camilla and Catherine get on very well. But so I think when they saw it, she wasn't alone in that remark.
No,
a lot of people,
it was very close.
But it wasn't meant in any way, in a harmful way, but in a joke. It was a Camilla joke.